What is gwan peeps? What is gwan? It's just me, Valerie's Naturals, aka Valerie's Naturals Oracles. And I'm going to do something completely new here, people. Collective, as I like to call you, the peeps. We got to do some serious budgeting. Now, I have to say, I've been budgeting for absolutely years, but I never actually, and it's usually, and I am the digital girl because I've got a degree in IT and I do everything digitally. So, but I thought, why not just take you on my journey, especially when it comes to savings and investments and budgeting? So if you're very new to budgeting, this is for you people. This is for you because I'm starting this journey from scratch, really. I just thought, let me just document what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and we can actually learn along the way. And budgeting doesn't have to be hard, people. All I've done is list what I spend on, what I want to save, and everything else, and debt, everything else. But in order to get to this point, even to be writing this down, there's certain steps you should have been taking in the first place, such as, do you know, if you're new to this, and I'm talking to the newbies, this is 101 now, people. I'm talking to the newbies. What it is, the first thing you should have been doing is actually keeping a track of your expenses. Maybe even download a couple because I say download because my things are digital, but get a couple of months of your statements and see where you're really spending your money. You'll be bloody surprised. There's so much you could get rid of. Okay. And if you have debt, this is the time to get serious with debt. Okay. I mean, up until 2 days ago, I didn't have any debt, but my computer conked out. I'm so peeved. So I had to whip out one of the zero. I had zero on my credit cards. I was debt free. And I had to whip out one of the credit cards to actually buy a new computer, which is on its way. But I thought while I was there, I might as well get some of the stuff that I wanted to replace in my house because I've got some really old stuff I need to replace. Like my microwave was on its last legs. Excuse me. My microwave was on its last legs to the point where I'm ashamed to say there was even outside bits of it was rusted. I'm not one to, do you know, if it's not broke, why are you fixing the what? Do you know, if it's not broke. So I keep my things forever, but when they need changing, they need changing. And I do look into it. I do the research and I figure it out. So I thought at the same time, I'll get a new computer and buy everything at once. And top tip, and I know some people think that John Lewis is posh as hell, but the one thing that you get from John Lewis when it comes to electrics is a 2-year guarantee instead of one. So if you buy something from Argos, it's only guaranteed for a year. Okay, and they like to quibble with you. But you see, John Lewis, you buy anything from John. I always buy my electronics from John Lewis because it's got 2 years guarantee and they do not quibble with you. As long as you can prove you bought it from them and this and that. Do you know how many times I've had computers replaced and stuff like that because they've gone wrong? But anyway, I digress. I say all that to say there's things you should be doing way before you get to this point, which is look at your expenses. And actually, if you're paying too high, for example, for contracts, for phones, for this, that, and the other, this is the time to go to comparison sites. I did a whole thing back in the day, at least a couple of years ago. I called it getting out of the matrix. And these are the things that you should be doing. And I stand by it. The third thing you should be doing is actually making a list of all your debts if you have them. And start throwing money at them. But the thing even before that, once you've done your expenses, once you've reduced your costs or your expenses down to a fine art, and that might have to be a separate video, okay? This is where you think about getting an emergency fund. If you're in debt, that is. But regardless, get an emergency fund together, at least a month's worth of living. And some people say a month's worth is expensive, but you've got to live as well, don't you? So I say a month's worth of living, okay? And that's it. And then you could start thinking about, and then you have to get your budget together. And this is the point where we're at here, people, getting the budget together. So I haven't, for the purposes of this, I don't want to bore people with my expenses, okay? Because I got it down to fine art. I'm one of those people, I come to the end of a contract, look at it, say, can I get cheaper? And I go and find cheaper. And, for the same as what I want. And as a result, I've reduced my bills down so much, it's ridiculous. So I'm not even going to go down that road. But what I'm dealing with here today is sinking funds and what I call what's left over after the expenses. So for me, it's going to be this month. And just to let you make you aware, I'm a digital budget. So this for me is just showing a basic situation, and I'm even using Play Money. Here's the Play Money. So I'm going to do it as Play Money, but in actual terms, I do everything digitally. And I might just show my digital, and it's really simple, but it just adds takeaways, does the percentages, what I want it to do. Because, sometimes doing it on paper can be a little bit laborious. So let's go through some of these, what I've got. Now, I'm going to say this off the bat because somebody's going to ask the question, how do I start? This is how you start. This is how you start a budget. You clear you write down everything you got to spend money on. Okay. Make sure, and that's the other thing you need to do, automate your bills. So you don't think about them. Automate your bills. We'll get on to savings another time if you're ready to automate your savings. But if you've got debt, you shouldn't be even looking at savings. You should be throwing your money at debt. Clear the debt, because a debt you're a slave to that debt. Okay. Besides mortgages, of course, but eventually you should be paying that off. But that's another story. That's another story again. But because we could go deep on that, I'm telling you. But here's where I'm going, and I don't want to drag this out, but here's the list of things that I want to put into sinking funds and or use to pay off debt or use as whatever. Okay. And I'll explain it to you. I love to travel. Okay, and this year is a big year for me. Okay, so I'm still going between a cruise, a safari, if I should travel Europe. I don't know. I still haven't decided, but I'm building up the fund, people. I'm building up the fund. And for me, I've got a holiday. This is one of the things that I've been doing anyway, since I've come back from Jamaica back in December. So the first category I've got, and I call these categories, or envelopes. You can call them envelopes. On my banking situation, I've got these all in envelopes. Okay. And whatever's automated is automated, which I'll explain in a minute. Okay. All my bills are automated. Every single one. I don't think about them. I know exactly how much is coming out. So I leave that money in that allocation. That's another thing again. There's so many things that I could do separate videos on, but you shouldn't just have the one account. You need to tell your money what to do. And I'm into zero-based budgeting, okay? Sticking to a budget, because there's no point doing this if you're not going to stick to a budget, okay? And so some people may call me cheap, but let me tell you something. I'm a girl with a plan. I'm not a man with a plan. I'm a girl with a plan. And I'd like to be what do they call it? The FIRE situation. I don't know if you know what that is. That is financially independent, retire early. Now, that's not going to happen for me. I'm not retiring early anytime soon. But I'd like to get to a certain point in about 7 years' time. And in order to do that, you're going to have to be aggressive with savings. You're going to have to be aggressive with certain things. And I don't know why I've gone down this road. Oh, I know why. It's because you need more than one bank account. You need more than one account. So you should have your checking account, what Americans call checking accounts, but it's really bills. Your bills, where your bills come out of. You should have a savings account, and it should ideally be a high yield savings account. You should have an emergency fund account, okay? You should have an investment account. Some people would add another one, a credit card account, if you're one of those people that can pay it off. I'm not one of those people though, so this is why I've got where I've got to. Well, I had to force myself to go to a zero-based budget, but up until 2 days ago. So I've had to buy some electrics and we get there. But I say all that to say you should have, apart from your checking account, you should have a savings, you should have an investment, you should have an emergency fund. So that's 4 accounts to begin with. Investment, saving. I have to check that. Investment, saving, emergency, and what else? Yeah. Okay, but we'll get to that, all right? There's a whole written videos by themselves. But we're going to stop it. I don't want to drag this on. So let's get busy. So the first one is the holiday fund I've got. It's what I call an envelope or whatever. And I've already got 1,400 in there. So I'm going to add £50 to that this go round. Okay. Now the investment one, although I do have funds in there, I don't really want to discuss that because it's nobody's business but mine. But I am setting something else up, which I'll let you know about, where I will discuss everything investments, because I'm a new investor. I've been investing seriously since January, but there is a bit tied up in there. And I've actually got stocks and shares, basically. But I don't want to do that here. That's another thing entirely. Okay, so I'm going to put £50 towards that. So that's £50 towards that. And then savings. Okay. Savings is another one that I've had for quite a while. It's got a change in there too, but I don't touch that. Okay, because there's something called compound interest into the high yield saving account, and it's currently giving me, and I'm telling you, I'm not a loyal bitch. I call it being the loyal bitch. I'm not. Do you know? You put your money somewhere and they suddenly change the rates on you, and they will tell you when they're changing the rates. That is time to move to another high yield saving account. And I don't keep my money. My money moves. My money moves. It's been moving for years. My money moves everywhere. I'm not one of you. Do you know some people, especially the older generation, and I am classed as the older generation, but because I've got the training I've got, I know better. Okay. But the older generation like to say they're loyal. Like British Gas has got the same loyal customers for 30, 40 years, but is it value for money? No. Do you know, British Gas is notorious for that. They've got customers that are so loyal to them. And I used to work for British Gas, so I know. I'm going to tell you, I've worked for a lot of big companies in my time. And British Gas is one of them. And they've got loyal customers. And they're just not loyal. So I say all that to say, your savings should be in a high yield saving account. I'm going to add £50 to that because, you know, compound interest, people, which we will talk about another time. Now, I've already got in my, this is the emergency fund. This is my emergency fund. I've already got £810 in there. And I happen to have it in a credit union, would you believe? I've had the credit union for years and years and years and years. And they don't give you interest. They give you a share of the profit. Okay. Now, I wasn't saving very much in there, but the money's still automatically going in there every single month, even if I take it out. So at the moment, I've got £810. That is my emergency fund. I don't know, maybe a couple hundred more in there, but that's on auto. So it gets £100. There's nothing I can do about that. That one is definitely on auto, and this one is on auto. Okay. So those are on auto, meaning a standing order is set up for them every single month. You could do standing order direct debit. Both of these are on a standing order every single month. So that's £150 saved there already. I'm saving it on holidays, but, you know, in the past, I've used it for all sorts of things like over COVID, needed the extra money, dipped in there. Needed a new sofa, I dipped in there. So I didn't use a card. I used cash to buy my sofa. Do you know, it's things like that. If you can save up enough, do you know, me and my girlfriend went to Thailand on it. Do you know, we saved up for 2 years straight and went to Thailand. It was meant to be Cuba. That's another story again. But anyway, so I'm going to move on. So food, that's one of those budgets that you can really do something with. Now, if you spent 300 quid in the past, okay, this is me being frugal now, okay, I've gotten into planning my meals. And because I'm planning my meals, I'm only buying specific things. Do you know, the treat is going to come out of my personal spend. If I really want a treat, if I really want a packet of crisps out the road, I'm going to do it at my personal spend. I'm not going to do it at a shopping spend. So therefore, that stays efficient. So because of that, I'm going to add to my food budget £100. Okay. So that one is one of those ones that I'll be spending anyway. So I'll put that over here and we'll talk about that one. That's a different one entirely. Travel. Now I'm talking about, when I say travel, it's local travel where I live. Because I live in a city, I don't need a car. So I don't have a car. So that expense is wiped out completely. But Those are the expenses that you're going to have to add into your situation. If you have a car, you're going to add in maintenance, you're going to add in car insurance, you're going to add in the taxing, you're going to add in all that into your budget. You know, if you want to have a car, because for me, it was like having another mortgage. And I thought, if I could get around what I'm doing, I don't need all that. That's cut so much out. That cuts so much out. Especially if you live in a city. Why are you relying on a car if you live in a city when you know they tax you just a bit? If you're, for example, you're in London, congestion charge, you know, coming out of a certain range, you know, fart tax. I call it fart tax, emission zones, you know, and what's that other one? See, I don't live in London anymore, but I know they have a charge for coming into London and coming out of London. Do you know that kind of thing? In certain areas, you have to pay, do you know, road charge, whatever. I can't remember what it's called. Please tell me in the comments what it's called. I can't remember, but I don't have to deal with all that. Now, I know this video is getting a bit long. It's because it's the very first one. We're starting fresh. We're starting new. And I'm telling you what I have already got in my budget and what I haven't got. So here's what we're doing here. So far, we've got, I already had that in the budget, 1,400. I already had 810 in my emergency fund. I already, you know, I'm allocating £100 for shopping, which is food. Okay. Travel is only £20 for me because they have, where I live, there's an app you can just download and you just add it up. And like, for example, bus journeys or tram journeys, I'm adding 20. It's only 20. So that gives me 20 rides. But wherever I need to go, it's mostly walking. So I don't use it like that. So I might get, you know, I might buy a new pass every month and a half, 2 months, every 2 months, because I walk everywhere, especially if summer's coming. You know, I am walking everywhere. And that's another way to save money. So, you know, I don't want to be as aggressive as saying get rid of the car if you live in a city, but it's a consideration, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because you save so much. I don't have any car in my budget. That's it. So so on my budget also, I've allocated for birthdays. So if I'm spending money for birthdays, for example, grandkids these days don't want you to buy something because it's not going to what they want. So what I do is have that money. That's what I do. I had that money. So and lately it's been £100 a time. So I save for that. And I also save for Christmas money for them as well. Okay. So at the moment, both of these has got a 140 in them each, because I've already given out some money this year already. And I had some in there. So I've got 140 in there. So if I'm giving 100, so the next one coming up is maybe June. So I'll give £100 of that, but I keep adding to it. And this time, the Christmas and the birthday money situation is going to get £20 each, because I'm trying to throw money towards this debt now. I didn't have this debt 2 days ago, but I have it now. Clothes I don't need, so I'm not adding because I want to throw money towards debt. Beauty is bits like, you know, when you want to buy the new face wash or you want to buy some makeup or whatever. Normally I would have put between £20 to £40 in there, but I'm not putting anything in there because I don't need it. And B, I'm throwing money towards debt. So the next one is electronics. Now, I'm not putting anything towards that either because I've already bought a load of electronics. Like I said previously, I thought while I'm buying the new computer, I might as well spend the money, get a new microwave, get a new air fryer, get a new, what else did I buy? Air fryer. And I really needed a carpet cleaner, so I bought a carpet cleaner. What else did I get? Oh, shit. But it's come to 147797 it's almost £1,500. But so I'm not adding to that one. Takeaways I'm refusing to buy, okay, because it is kind of like crazy. If I really want to do takeaway, which is not very often because there's not a lot of vegan places out there, because if you know, I'm vegan, okay. But so that's that. Now I've got the debt. Now I did a separate bit here for the debt here because I've got, like I said, that debt came to 1477.97, and I've got some bonus money, so I'm gonna fling £250 towards that to get it down to immediately, so I don't pay all the interest. Okay, so the next one is personal spend, which I think is important. Some people say you shouldn't be throwing that towards your debt, but you can't leave yourself with nothing, can you? You got to have some. I don't believe in being living on beans and rice. I don't believe in all that. You got to live some life. So I'm going to fling £100 towards that. Okay, because there's bits and pieces you want to get, like, whatever. I'm a big I'm going to say it. I'm a big Amazon spender. I love to spend on Amazon. So, I will buy some bits on Amazon. Like, I've been looking at supplements lately. So I'll be looking at supplements and the bits and pieces I need around the house. That I don't want it to come out of any other budget. So I'll do it as personal spend. Okay. And now we've got the debt here. So I'm already got £250 going towards that. But I'm thinking, do I put an extra £100 on top of that? So I think I'm going to put an extra. Do I put an extra £100 towards it, or £50? I'm going to put an extra £100 towards that debt. So not only have I got the 250 there, as you can see, so I've got bonus money 250 there, but I'm going to add an extra 100 to that. So it's 250, 350. So I'm flinging 350 towards that debt. Okay. Then I've got my savings challenges. Now, I already had the penny saving challenge, which has already got £100 in there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to add into there yet, but we're going to do all the calculations now. See, like I said, I would have done this digitally, and I might show you the digital version because it's a lot quicker, simpler, and easier than doing it on paper. But, all you need is an A4 pad and a pen to do a budget. And I'm showing you how easy it can be. Okay, this is as easy as it gets. Okay, you don't need to have it digital, but most banks these days have special situations or bits where you can make envelopes. And that's why I did it in the first place, because I've got all of these in envelopes on my bank account, and then they get allocated to the different accounts. So, for example, my emergency fund is on an auto, £100 auto. I'm not touching that. That is always going to be £100. That goes into my emergency fund, and I've got 800 and something pounds in there already. So it's close to my target. And once it gets close to the target, because I've got other savings that I can, if I need to, rely on, I could either start building on that, or leave it at a certain point and to allocate that money elsewhere. Even though it's going into that account, I can allocate it out again to other accounts. If that makes sense, people. So I'm just giving you budgeting 101. All you need is a list. A lot of people don't tell you that. Some people just overcomplicate it. But I'm telling you, all you need is to work out what you're spending your money on, reduce your contracts, reduce your bills where you can, make a list and allocate money to it, and stick to it. There's no point doing a budget if you're not going to stick to it, okay? So we're down to, what are we down to? So we're down to the penny saving challenge. I'm going to chuck some money at that. But again, I'm going to get the calculator out in a minute and we'll work it out, okay? I don't want to drag this out though, so I might split this video in two. Where are we at the moment? Yeah, I'm going to split this video in two. So what we're going to do is calculate it, because the running total for this. So the start of this is £680 and 16 pence, if I didn't mention that before. All of this is going to be allocated out of there. So it's a zero budget. So we know what we're working with. So in essence, I've got food and I've got personal savings at £200. That is what I'm literally going to spend. So I might take that out as cash, okay, and do it that way. I'll think about it, but I'll let you know what I do. But that's £200 right there. But I'm going away for a couple of days with some girlfriends in June, because I'm a monthly budget. This is it. This is my budget. What I'll do is a weekly check-in though as to what I've spent. Okay, just to see, so you can see how I work on these budgets. But what we're going to do next is actually allocate the money. And we're going to get down to the zero budget. So I'm going to do a part 2 to this, or it'll be the next. It will be where I call it the cash stuffing. Okay. So I'll be back, peeps. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like, comment, and actually subscribe where you can. Please subscribe, hit the alert bell so you know when I'm going to do another video, because I know people are interested in seeing how people spend their money. And boy, did I spend some money 2 days ago. I'm so peeved. But even that, I might show you all that. Because I used to do reviews and people used to like them. So I might do reviews and all this stuff that I get as well. But it might possibly be, I'll do the initial unboxing and then... Anyway, I do the initial unboxing and then maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, I say how I really feel about them. And it's quite a few bits. I even got my old Kindle reader, because I read books quite a lot, actually conked out. So I got a new Kindle reader as well. What did I buy? I bought a microwave. I bought an air fryer. I bought a carpet cleaner. I bought because my old Bluetooth speaker went as well, so I bought that. This is all in John Lewis. I did it all in one hit, so you're going to see this stuff when I get it. But anyway, I'll be back with the cash stuff in. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, people, because this is going to get deep, especially the investments and the savings. Anyway, take care till next time.